But let's just quickly go straight to the conversation with our guest in the studio. Good morning, pharmacist.
Good morning, and good morning to you viewers.
All right, let's just go straight to the talking point. What are your expectations as a Nigerian?
Well, the signs are already in abundance. The entire Nigerian people, there's no need trying to recapture what we've been through since the past 8 years leading up to now. A lot happened during the electoral process. Whatever it is, matters are in court for proper settlement.
Of course.
Now, the president-elect became the president a few days ago. And at that point in time, you would have thought that something that inspires hope in the entire Nigerian people would be what we are discussing.
Renewed hope, like he said.
That speech he gave us was devoid of hope in itself. It was a flat speech, uninspiring. And at best, it left the entire Nigerian people in a situation that I want to term melancholic demeanor. Because you came out to say subsidy is gone. Beautiful. The beauty of it is that it was not even you coming in now that, planned it that way.
The former president actually said that.
So that's okay. But we would have expected that you go a little bit deeper by telling us that at so time when this is done, this will accrue to the coffers of the nation. And these are the plans, short-term, medium-term, long-term plans, that the new government has in a bid to ameliorate the sufferings of our people. Because we have been here for so long. And if anything at all is getting worse. Those are some of the things that the people wanted to see. But what did we see? Once again, we saw the usual kind of leadership that does not believe that the people they lead hold any place in the state of affairs. So we were left with a statement that caused people to hurriedly take decisions that will, worsen the hardship that the people were already enmeshed in. So if, therefore, that is where we start from, against all that we have been going through all this while, what do you think will be our expectations? I think that is the question that we actually need to answer.
Okay, now, that is your expectation as an individual. But now, let's now ask, on behalf of the over 200 million Nigerians, do you think this administration will meet their expectations?
Well, if I must answer that question, what we are talking about right now is a leadership question. It's a leadership question, no doubt about it. And you and I, and many others out there have always said, what Nigeria lacks is good leadership.
But the immediate past president said that TINUBU is the best man for the job.
The immediate past president...
That was what he said.
The immediate past president, the one you just referred to, he's been taunted in many circles as the worst president that has happened to this country. And what authority does he have to tell us that this is the best man?
But from their scorecard, we were told they did a lot for the country.
Well, we are suffering. Our situation is worse off than they met it before they came to power. And they do not have any evidence to prove to us that they have done anything better. All the indices are there.
The second Niger bridge is nothing to write home about.
Well, the second Niger
railway
bridge,
lines.
the second Niger bridge.
Dangote refinery.
Dangote refinery, which has not started producing. Dangote refinery, which it looks like the federal government is taking as its own project. What stopped the federal government against the promise they made to us in 2015 from establishing even modular refineries in all the regions of our country? Because what we have now is that the moment a penny is added to fuel prices at the international market, it takes its bearing on us. And the government was there for 8 years and found no solution. the number of killings that happen all over this country, the kidnappings, the spate of other kinds of insecurity situation was such that it worsened during that period.
All things are passed away. We have a new president and commander-in-chief.
That was why I commented on the speech he made.
Okay.
We needed a bit of inspiration. And when a leader comes to power like this, we are facing a situation of gloom in this country without a doubt. When you come, everybody's going to look at your body language, the things that you say. What they want to get from these things is the direction, your policy direction, your vision, where you will be taking us to in the next 4 years. Now, the people are not even bothered to have the process go on so fast with speed, but they only want to be convinced that we are moving in the right direction. And that speech that day was flat, uninspiring. It reduced us to a state of melancholic demeanor. And now we are here. We cannot even say, this government, this is what it has for the people. Then it brings our mind back to the very process that enthroned this government. You know, we would have loved to put that behind us now and allow the court go through the process. But immediately that speech was made, we are all coming back to say, wow, this is exactly what we were talking about. Now, leadership is a thing that dwells on the character of the leader as well. Because the followers draw inspiration, they draw confidence, and they want to trust those that they follow. Do you really think the Nigerian people have confidence in what they have now? Do you really think they want to wholeheartedly follow this that they have?
Whether you like it or not, they voted for him. He was voted for.
That is a question that the court will have to answer, because I don't want us to delve into that, because...
But he's the president.
Well, he's
the law says he's the president.
Well, I'm not against what the law says. I'm not also against the fact that litigations are also lawful processes.
That's true.
So
we are not disputing that fact too.
So I'm happy that over time we now have a legal process, a judicial process that places timelines for these cases to be heard and to be done with. So whatever it is, we have a precedent in place because nature abhors vacuum. It's right there. If he remains there after then, glory to God. But we are speaking now as if he will remain. And we are looking at some of the things he has put on the table. I'm not against the removal of subsidy. Not at all.
Some are saying he's not starting on the right track. Do you agree with that?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Not because he made that pronouncement relating to subsidy.
For subsidy removal.
No, not that. Not that. You see, a leadership that does not display compassion, a leadership that does not display a know-how that can draw the confidence of the people. Like I said before, we know how much we accrue to us, or don't you know, as a nation, when the fuel subsidy, which is not reflecting in the budget, starting from June, is finally implemented. Now, we know how much accrues to us. Now, you tell us how much is accruing to us. Because you won an election in February. You had all the time to talk, because it's your party that is handing over to you. Some of this information, you should know. And you come to the people and say, so amounts will be accruing monthly to us if we are no longer paying subsidy. Now, this is how my government, in the short term, wishes to apply such funds. This is what we want to do within the next 4 years. You know, probably we will, in the long run, begin to build refineries here and there. Since our country depends solely, basically, on petroleum products to run its economy. So this is what we will be doing, this is what we'll be doing, then you tell the people. And the people will now take you up on those timelines and begin to work. It is something to look forward to. You understand? And all that was missing. Subsidy is gone. Oh, subsidy is gone.
Okay. Just to let you know that Abuja Network Center, they're part of this conversation. Charity will be filing her question in a moment, but let's quickly come back to the studio. And of course, let's know, pharmacist, which aspect do you think the president should start tackling? Which aspect? Is it the fuel crisis? Is it the insecurity? Is it agriculture? Should he focus on the economy? Which aspects should he start with?
In fact, the government does not need to start from anywhere. It can start from everywhere. But what I'm saying right now is that...
Wouldn't that look like chasing clouds?
No, no. They are critical sectors of our economy. On daily basis, they are serviced. On daily basis, something is going on in all of this. Before you now talk of some creative tendencies that government can introduce into its affairs. Now, the truth of the matter is this. A woman is crying. Your wife has issues. She's not happy about certain things. Sometimes, what she needs is not for you to tell her the solution. What she needs is for you to just show her you are concerned about her plight and assure her that in the course of time, we will work out solutions together. What this country needs now is a government. What this country needs now is a government that can assure it that, one, it understands the plight of the people and it will never renege from looking for solutions. You know, that assurance is what we need everywhere, not grandstanding, not telling the people we are here now, there's nothing you can do about it. Not spewing out lies, series of lies that we experienced in the last administration, where they just tell lies and they don't care how you feel about it. We need a government that will tell the people, look, this is a departure from what we have had. Let us work together. You know, let us come to a table and think of the way forward. There are stakeholders here and there. We are being represented at all different levels and different sectors, and engage these people. You know, this is no longer a question of, oh, we have a policy we are implementing there. How much have we been able to trust you with the implementation of these policies over time? Now, a government came in before, taunting, you know, credentials of being anti-corruption regime. What came out of it eventually? We had more persons getting engaged, making corruption a free-for-all affair, and no one could be tracked. Nigeria could not, you know, rise up above where it was, even sank.
Are you saying institutions were not strengthened to carry out the attacks?
They were not strengthened.
They were strengthened.
Yes, that is usually what a sound government does. It is not coming out with manifestos and telling people this is what we are going to do, this is what we are going to do. Anybody can do that. But the character of the players is what the people really look at. And that was why during the election process, there was a candidate that the people felt, oh, this and this, he has certain things that we think could change the tides and move us forward. Now, character. If the leader does not possess that character, the people lose interest in that leadership. And we see ourselves being relegated into that state of, well, let it go the way it goes. It's a dangerous state, that, because sometimes you allow those who have criminal tendencies to exhibit their talents, if I put it that way, freely. Because now there's no hope anywhere.
All right, if you're just tuning in, you're onto the network service of ITV, and of course from the Benin Network Center, we're having a focus on the impact of the TINUBU'S administrations on Nigerians, or the expectations of Nigerians as far as this administration is concerned. Charity is standing by. I don't know if we can take her right now. She'll be part of this conversation. Charity.
Thank you, Daniel. My question is, pharmacist, is you talked about, you said this administration that the president's speech was flat. And let's look at the removal of the subsidy. As at from Monday up till now, as at this morning, 630 naira. We know that it was about 160 before this pronouncement. And you said The speech has no direction. Is this not is this not direction enough?
Yes, anyway is a direction. Yes, anyway is a direction. Like I said, the removal of fuel subsidy was never initiated by this new regime. Subsidy wasn't captured in our budget starting from the end of June. We all know that. We were already getting set to walk into that and operate that. So he pronounced it. I'm not against his pronouncement, but the way he did pronounce it, it showed again that these people, this leadership again is like the other, that doesn't really care how the people feel about these things. You know, what I'm saying is that he needed to tell us how the funds are accruing from this removal of subsidy as it's spent out in the budget. What if it turn out to what Nigerians expect? That's the direction I'm talking about. What Nigerians expect within the next 6 months, what Nigerians expect within the next 1 year, what government wishes to do to ameliorate the effects, the hardship this will really have on the people. Because you and I know that it is already telling on the people. It's just a matter of weeks. You will see how prices of commodity will skyrocket, how people will not be able to move from place to place. You know, what effect will this have on the workers? What effect will it have on the common man who does not even have a job at all? What effect will it have on the business environment and all of that? We would have thought that, knowing very well that by end of June, subsidy will be no more. This government that is coming in would have taken this time, you know, to prepare a speech for Nigerians that will give them a little bit of hope. That's the direction we talked about. But where have they taken us? They are taking us back to memory. That memory of a time where there is a government that is so detached from the people, unconnected with the people. It doesn't matter what the people say. At the end of the day, just put some lies up together and spew it to them. What can they do? I remember one of the speeches he made during the campaign period. He said, whether you like it or not, you can protest for like, we are going to remove subsidy. By the way, I've already won this election. You know.
That was during the campaign.
That was during the campaign. And
that's just a way of expressing hope. That's expectation.
When you were campaigning, you were not yet a president. Now you are a president. We do not want to see some of those reckless pronouncements.
Okay, now, some people are actually concerned because they felt there are a lot of similarities with this government and the previous administration of that of Muhammadu Buhari, while some are of the opinion that no, this president has been a governor, two-time governor of Lagos State, and he did excellently well. He was one-time senator of the Federal Republic. He did well. And of course, he had impacted so many persons in governance, in politics, and all walks of life. Don't you think Nigerians should trust our new president to deliver?
I would have loved that Nigeria should trust their new president to deliver. We are citizens of this country. We shouldn't be pessimistic about the affairs of this nation. But I speak as a human being who has also studied the process, the way things have gone. Now you try to allude to the fact that, oh, he has raised men in his governor before and all of that.
And he has done well as a governor.
Let us not also forget that there are a lot of baggages that came with his expedition. A lot of baggage, a lot of accusations, a lot of fingers pointing in the direction, a lot of things that impinge on character. And if a leader has capacity, he has competence, and lacks character, he has nothing.
Okay.
It has nothing. So, Nigerian politics, those who extray and analyze Nigerian politics, they don't look at it from the standpoint of how the people benefit. They look at it from the standpoint of how men are raised to become big and powerful in the political space. What he did was to raise men, was to give them, empowerment, that they become very big in the landscape. What happened to the ordinary man? That should be what we use to, assess whether a particular leader or a government or a regime has done well or has not done well. You have acted as a conspiratorial alliance that you put up to ensure that the Nigerian population
let's begin to wrap up now. Formation of his cabinet, involvement of women and youth is really raising a lot of concern in some quarters. Some people felt if the past administration didn't give youth and women enough room in the government, Asiwaju has promised that he was going to carry everybody along, including women and youth. Of course, his wife during the campaign said that women are going to have at least a fair play in the government. Do you think we can take that to the bank as we begin to wrap up?
You see, dealing with these same issues that are recurring over time, we're going to give youths this, we're going to give women this, we're going to... People begin to place this on the front burner as if that is where the problems of this country. No.
You think that's not an issue?
That's not an issue at all. That is not an issue. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, men and women of character are what we lack in this country. There are youths you will put there, and what you get is something you will regret.
So irrespective of their status, their age, doesn't matter. I'm not saying that women should not be factored in. I'm not saying, don't hoodwink us with this kind of statements. Don't let it be like this is what we should be thinking about. You understand? No, Nigeria have problems that are more than that. Men and women are right in the heat of issues that they cannot deal with. And you are talking about policies that are hanging, things that does not have foundation. We will use women, we will put women. You are talking to children. You know, we are gone past this era. Okay, thank you so much, Pharmacist Oyi, for taking time to join us. Hope we'll be having you some other time on the show. Well, we'll be extending or expanding this conversation as we'll be looking at subsidy removal and the impact on our economy or the benefit of subsidy removal. We'll take a short break now and make way for our next segment. Don't go nowhere.